everyone, welcome back. My name is Drea and I'm going to be walking you through 3 easy ways to make sure your baking is healthier during the holiday season or just year round. Because especially during the holidays, we can't avoid the baked goods. They are everywhere. They are at the holiday parties. They are at our relatives' house. They are in our houses. They're being gifted to us, sent to us, and we are making them. So let's see what we can do to make them even healthier for us. So the first thing we can do is we can change the flour that we use. So what I have here is whole wheat flour. And I'm sure it doesn't look, it's backwards because of how I have the camera, but using either a whole wheat flour or using almond flour instead of just traditional white flour can add a lot of nutritional value to your baked goods. So wheat flour is higher in protein and vitamin B and fiber. And then almond flour is higher in vitamin E and it has antioxidants, all of which are really good. White flour is highly processed, so it doesn't have all those good things in it. Now wheat flour, it does taste different, and so does almond flour. Almond flour is sweeter. Whole wheat flour is, I would say drier is a good way to explain it. When you're cooking with almond flour, make sure that you are adding a couple of teaspoons more. I usually do 2 teaspoons more of liquid for the wheat flour that I use. If you're not entirely happy with the wheat flour, I would also recommend looking at flour blends. You can either blend your own from something like a wheat or an almond flour. We have a hungry kitty in our midst. This is Eli. And that is a great way to add nutritional value. So that way you don't have to worry about, well, yes, you're eating the baked goods, but at least you're getting more good nutrients out of the baked goods. So if you are on a budget, I would highly recommend the wheat flour because the wheat flour is around the same price as white flour is when I bought it at Target. So that's my first recommendation. Right, Eli? He says yes. The next recommendation that I have is for unsweetened coconut. So I'm gonna make it. I do not have the can because I usually keep it in a canister up on my countertop. And that way I have it always available. I use it not only in my baked goods, but I also use it in smoothies, in protein shakes, and also in my protein snack balls. So unsweetened coconut. It does take some getting used to, especially if you use a lot of sweetened coconut in your baking and in your everyday cooking. But there are at least an extra 5 grams of sugar for every 2 tablespoons of sweetened coconut that you use. And I don't know about you all, but most of the recipes that I have, right, Eli, include like he's getting all up in the camera, include at least a 1/4 cup to a 1/2 cup of coconut. And so if you have the unsweetened coconut, you're taking away that extra sugar. It's still got the coconut taste. It still is going to be a little bit sweeter. It's just not going to be as sweet. And as an added benefit, because you're not adding all that added sugar, you're not going to be craving all that added sugar. So unsweetened coconut is more expensive. It's not like with the almond flour, I can say, oh, you cannot do the almond flour and do the wheat flour. It's about the same cost as white flour. Unsweetened coconut is more expensive. I don't understand it. They're not adding an ingredient, which is sugar. So I think it should be cheaper, but I have found that it took a few months even for my own taste to become used to it, but it has been very effective at 1, reducing my sugar cravings, and 2, making my baking, smoothie and protein shake making and protein ball making healthier. So that is an easy swap. It is a bit more expensive, but it is an easy swap. So the last one I have has to do with these guys. If you can't see, this is food coloring. So you can get food coloring at any store. Most of them you're going to notice do not look like this. These are from a health food store. I get mine at Whole Foods. These are not colored using chemicals. So the reason why I say it is a healthy swap, I know we talked about the flour and the coconut, which make a lot of sense to most people. The chemicals that are added into the coloring have been known to cause problems with brain chemistry, specifically in those of us with ADHD, kids and adults. I have seen my son who has ADHD and is on medication for ADHD go from completely normal at a party to, as soon as he gets one of those cupcakes with all that crazy icing that's colored in his mouth, go to a complete nutball. It's the chemicals, and they are doing scientific research to find out if it is causing actually it to counteract the ADHD medication that a lot of people are on. So one of the easiest things you can do is to remove added chemicals from your foods. With baking, most of them are going to be in usually the little round sprinkles. If they're colored, they have added chemicals to them to add those colors, unless you're buying them at a health food store that does not allow that. So the easy thing you can do is either to not add sprinkles or not add food coloring at all, or you can spend the extra money, because it does cost more for the natural ones, to buy the natural food coloring. Now the natural food coloring that I have here, I even have neon colors in addition to regular green, blue, yellow, and red. So they do have lots of options available to you, but again, you're going to be spending a lot more money than you would with traditional food coloring. So what I would recommend, that if you are on a budget with the food coloring, that you would just not add it. Not add the sprinkles, not add the food coloring to your baked goods. If you do have the budget, since it is holiday time, we spend a little bit more money, not on our everyday treats, but invest in the natural food coloring ingredients. That way you can make sure that you're not going to have a house full of nuts kids, right? And kids that are just going off the wall because it's crazy enough during the holidays as it is. So again, 3 super easy swaps that you can do. Your flour, switching out traditional white flour for either whole wheat flour or almond flour or a mixture. Switching out your sweetened coconut for unsweetened, and either completely ditching food coloring or switching to a natural type of food coloring which does not have any processed chemicals in it. I hope this helps with your holiday baking, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great day, whatever it is you're doing. Take care.